to my reading today. It's going to be a twin flame, soulmate, twin soul, etc. reading, or whatever you refer them as. Today's it's going to be a little bit different, at least for my cards, because I usually don't do astrology readings. But I wanted to try it out just to see if anyone would resonate with it. If it does, be sure to comment down below if it does. And remember that this is a personal reading, this is a collective reading. So if you want more personal ones, I do have my Etsy down below. But I also take Cashapp and PayPal. It's just my Etsy has guidelines and rules that I have. So I prefer you to look at that first before you actually make a payment or request a reading. And you can do that through my email, which is linked down below, or directly through my Etsy. Alright, so pile numbers 1, 2, and 3. Pile number 1 has this broken pendulum that I dropped on the floor. Pile number 2 has the clear quartz. Pile number 3 is lapis lazuli. Right, so you can choose 1 or 2 in all 3. And I'll present number 1 in just a few moments. Okay, so this is pile number 1. Let's set up order. Okay, so I'm going to start off with their characteristics and their personality before we move on to the sun, moon, and rising. So this is someone I see as very headstrong. They could be stubborn, maybe they get into conflicts if they're not careful. But I also see them as someone who takes action over planning, and they could be very impulsive as well, which could lead into some problems, especially if they don't control their impulses. But I don't think this is a very negative thing. I just think they're like very a strong-willed person, and they'll fight for. I think they'll fight for what they believe is right, or they're someone who stands up for themselves. Okay, so for the sun, I'm getting mostly earth for this one, but with the fire in the back, there could be someone who is on the cusp of a fire sign, or maybe an earth sign that has who has characteristics that's similar to some fire signs as well. So for this one kind of reminds me of Aries. So maybe this could be someone on the cusp of Aries and Taurus, for example, since Taurus is an earth sign. But in general, I see this as someone who just has a lot of strong will and power and fortitude in them, but mostly earth sign. For water, I'm getting, for the moon sign, I'm getting the waters for water, so it could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And for the rising sign, I'm getting another earth sign, but again, because of this, I guess, right here, it's a very strong earth sign, or a sign that could be confused as a fire sign, or maybe an earth sign that could be on a cusp of a fire sign. So that was pile number 1. If you guys enjoyed that, resonated with that, be sure to leave a comment down below so I know if this reading worked for you or not. And then, as I said before, my personal readings down below, and I'm going to move on to pile number 2. Alright, for pile number 2, we have the personality, characteristics, and the sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to start out with this one first. So for this one, I see them as someone who's very easygoing. They kind of go with the flow. Maybe they're more of a follower than a leader. I wouldn't say they're the type of person who hops on a bandwagon or just follows the crowd, but I just see them not really resisting a lot of things. So as a weakness, this could be them following the bandwagon, but for the most part, I just think they're very easygoing. Whatever is happening around them, they kind of learn to adapt to it. And we have their sun sign. So for this one, getting Earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And then for their rising, I'm getting Earth for this one too. I think all 3 of these are Earth signs. but there could be a little bit of air in there, or air characteristics, or maybe they're on the cusp of an air sign. But for the most part, I'm getting air for this one. Or I mean, earth for all three of these. Alright, so that's part number 2. If that resonated with you, if that made any sense to you, please leave a comment down below so I know if these readings work or not. And then we move on to pile number 3 with the lapis lazuli. Okay, so pile number 3 with lapis lazuli, we have their characteristics, their personality, was like the sun, moon, and rising. Okay, so for this one, I'm getting that they're a pretty adventurous person. They could be someone who prefers exploring outside of their comfort zone. Maybe there's someone who's very, maybe they have, depending on that, maybe they could have a lot of friends with them because they travel, they're on a lot of adventures, or they like meeting people. I think they're just that type of like wildlife adventure person. In general, someone who likes stepping outside their comfort zone. Or maybe they're like taking a lot of risks as well. And for their sun, moon, and rising. So for the sun, this one I'm getting more of an air sign. Yeah, I think this is an air sign. This feels like an air sign. For the moon, earth, and another earth for the rising. So air sign would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They could be very social people as well. Maybe they have like a large group of people, or not a large group of friends, or maybe acquaintances that they know or hang around with. And for the earth signs, or for the earth, moon, and rising, I'm just kind of going off the cusp for this, but I feel like there's someone, even though they're very adventurous, or they like to take risks, or they step out of the comfort zone, I think they're still grounded in some way. So I think this earth kind of keeps them grounded, but at the same time, I think it also drives them forward as well. So maybe they appear to be someone who's very stable, reliable, practical. I'm not saying they're not, but I feel like to most people, they're kind of like this earth sign, the stable sign, this very grounding sign, but their sun sign is very air-like. They like to socialize, like to go out, like to do all these things. That kind of seems opposite of an earth sign. But again, the rising sign is just their surface. So if you don't know this, the rising sign is basically what they present to the people. For example, if you met someone at a party, your first impression of them would be their rising sign. And then we have the sun sign, which is their actual, I guess, authentic sign, and the moon sign, which is like their inner emotions. So yeah, because of the 2 earth signs, like I said before, I'm getting that they are very grounded, they seem very grounded, very practical, but at the same time, I think this earthiness, this earth-like quality to them also drives them forward. And also with air signs, some of them can be very eccentric and energetic, and this earth sign quality can kind of dampen it down. But again, I think I'm just reiterating the same thing. But anyways, that's part number 3. If that resonated with you, or if that made any sense to my ramblings, be sure to let me know if this worked. Like I said before, my Etsy down below, and I have a Cashapp and PayPal to take through, but please read the Etsy for the guidelines before you take any through Cashapp or PayPal. Alright, that was the end of the reading.